Hey guys, Leek here. Um, I wanted to make this video, just to honestly, I think talk about just everything that has been happening recently. My feelings and just what I've been struggling with because I think there's a lot that I'm not centered. I don't think it's that deep, but it's not too bad. Um, I think there's a lot under the main frame. I think as a person, um, I'm struggling, and I know I've internalized that I'm not supposed to be doing this for years. I always felt this sense of I need to express myself. I need not express myself, but to share how I feel and feel witness in how I feel. Um, Especially for it to feel validated and feel like, hey, how I feel is not just something. I guess it feel real, and I guess not just something that I have to sweep under the rug. Not something that I just have to pretend isn't there. Or something that I have to. Oh shit! Something I have to act like isn't real, or like if people see how I feel, it's like, well, it's out there. They can understand it, and I don't feel so alone. And this shit doesn't feel like I have to just tackle it all by myself, and it also doesn't feel like my life is just going away from me, and I'm just trying to understand what's going on. You know, obviously, I will say that there are obviously certain things that I'm working through my therapist, and I'm very appreciative of it. Appreciative of my therapist. She helps me understand so much. So the thing that I think that scares me about doing something like this is what if I do this and then because I'm being witnessed and because I'm feeling like, hey, my feelings are out there and I'm not just alone in this. Whatever I have my camera on right now is making it really hard to do this video. But like if shit. Yeah, so if I feel like I'm being witnessed, then will I still need therapy? But I think that even if I'm going and saying, hey, this is what I'm currently feeling right now, and sharing how I feel with people, to not feel like I'm just so under the carpet and have to deal with it all by myself, then I think that that isn't going to stop me from going to therapy, because there are certain things that I feel like with a therapist, I can deep dive and understand and navigate, and I feel it's more powerful than going to the internet and saying, hey, this is what's going on under the surface. Because I feel like with my therapist, I can deep dive on the things that are I am struggling with. Um, Initially, okay, I'm not treating this as the final video because I think that's hard for me. But I will say that I want to. This is where it gets hard. Okay, it's not the final video. Um, Fuck. Sorry. I want to talk about how I feel interacting with people, um, or me how I feel as a person. I want to talk about my loss of confidence. I want to talk about everything that I feel I've been through in the last 3 years. Um, so it doesn't just feel like I'm tackling it all by myself, or that I have to find a way to become confident about it without having that sense of that kind of underbuild up or doing it blindly, I guess. I guess part of me wants to feel like, hey, I'm not alone in all of this. So then I guess I can feel like I can go on in the world as myself. And I feel like when you think about it, I judge myself a lot for having that need, because a lot of my mind tells me and internalizes that I'm not supposed to need external validation to feel valid. And I guess that comes from, my role models and, just internalizing that every little thing I do is wrong. And it's hard because even though I am trying to work under the guidelines and I'm very appreciative of it, um, I feel like externally, when I do something where I feel like I slip up or people don't react to it the way I want it to, I get so embarrassed of myself. I black out all my profile pictures. I black out my Roblox character. Silly as that sounds, I black out my Roblox character and I stop presenting feminine on Roblox, or I stop dressing in a way that feels a little bit more expressive or fun, and I just want to be invisible for a bit. I have this sense of I just don't want to exist, not in the sense of I want to die, of course not. But I feel like there's a beauty about life that you are able to experience fun things and do things you want, and this thing about consciousness. But when you feel like you can't take up space with other human beings, it's very hard. It's very, very hard. Um, if I am posting this video, I want to send this to both my family and friends. So I want to, have that space. I think to my family, the ones that see this, because I've blocked some from seeing my story. Yeah. As you can see, I guess to those that are religious or don't believe in what I'm doing, yeah. If you can see, I'm wearing makeup. And don't get me wrong, I like what I'm doing, but externally, I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of how it looks to other people because I've internalized that it's not good. I've internalized that the path I'm on is not something that people should see, or it's not something that I feel is good. Even though it brings me joy, but brings me a lot of confusion and fear. Now, I haven't disclosed how I feel, what my pronouns are, or even what I am, because I'm afraid that if I do, it's final, and what if I change my mind? And additionally, what if I do this all and I come out of it feeling different and I make a fool out of myself in front of everyone? I worry what people say, I was right all along, or like, look what you've done, now you can't reverse it, or just seeing people see me revert, and the embarrassment I'd feel, amongst others, that I did something and I did to prove that, I guess, slight sense of I'm against or I'm different, and then I end up reverting, and then it's like they were right that this is what I was all along, or what their perception of me was the real perception, and I was just delusional. I guess that scares me. It scares me to feel like what I'm doing could be seen as blasphemous. It scares me that I always feel like I need permission from my family to exist as what I'm doing right now. I'm not gonna make that comment of exist as I am, because I haven't figured out who I am yet. I don't know if it's a nuance of autism or it's a nuance of I haven't figured out my own internal compass. So to go and say something like, oh, this is who I am, is very hard for me. Because this is simply, no, I don't want to even downplay what I'm doing, because I shouldn't. I deserve more than that. But what I'm doing right now brings me happiness and brings me relief from feeling burdened by a lot of things, or burdened by a sense of living that I just don't feel like I align with right now, or just burdened by this idea of what I'm supposed to be, I know there's a lot of things I'm working through in therapy, so I'm working with my therapist to understand it, because my story isn't the neatest, but yeah, I wish I could take up more space with my family without feeling like an embarrassment. I wish I could I wish that when I asked my mom for advice, I could, like, I guess not feel like, I don't explain it, but I guess I wish I didn't feel like I was bothering her, or like I'm helpless. Like, even if she gives me advice, because I don't agree with it, it's not helpful. I wish that I didn't internalize that what I'm doing pushes me away from my family. I wish that I didn't need permission to feel like, hey, if we go bowling and I present feminine, that it's a bad thing, or it makes some people feel weird around me, or I need permission to feel like I need to ask, hey, you guys okay with what I'm wearing? Or how do you guys feel about me wearing this? It's hard because I don't simply do anything without feeling like, oh, I'm doing it and no one's going to give a shit, or only how I feel matters. I guess because there's something just deep down inside me that doesn't believe that. There's something deep down inside me that believes that what I'm doing already bothers people. So if I get that permission that what I'm doing doesn't, then I can do it. For example, when I went to Canada and I visited, my family there this year, I had that permission. No one judged me for it. And I felt like I could take up space. Oh shit, this is moving. I felt like I could take up space because it's moving again. Sorry guys. I had already had that permission from my family. They were like, oh, what you're gonna do is not gonna bother us or anything. And we didn't even talk about certain things, and that gives me more permission, because if I can talk about certain things that are very personal to me, especially within that, then I feel like, oh my god, what I'm doing doesn't bother people. Like, I am safe enough to talk about this, then hell yeah, I can talk about it. But then I returned back to a space where, I'm not so bothered in my area anymore, because I think there's more of an idea of what I'm doing. I show more evidence that this is what I'm doing now and this is my journey. And it doesn't scare me as much, but more drastic steps like wearing more scandalous things or more specifically outing things is what scares me. Trying things like a wig or something scares me. Doing things that I guess I feel like I shouldn't do scares me. But I don't want to act like, no, I don't even want to, shouldn't be mean to myself, but I'm not in a place where I'm trying to claim that this is really like specifically who I am, like I said. So it's hard because I feel like I get all this permission and I still don't believe that I'm allowed to do this, or that this is a good thing I'm doing, or this could be part of who I am, because I've internalized that this is not the way I am, and that I don't know, I can't really comment too much on that because I'm still working with my therapist. So I think a balance of talking about my feelings and I guess being more open about myself plus working in therapy would help. That's what I want to say to my family. I just want to say, I'm sorry if it felt like I pushed any of you away, and I'm sorry if I can't take advice, or it feels like you always need to talk to me about myself, because even if you tell me certain things, my mind doesn't believe it. So I feel like I'm always needing that constant reassurance, that constant sense of permission to do things, that constant sense of permission that what you're doing isn't bothering people, you're okay. Nothing you're doing nothing you're doing is bad. But yeah, thank you for those that have allowed me to take up space and haven't made me feel like what I'm doing is bad. To my friends, I want to say that, sorry, I don't know if I've specifically done anything bad to you guys, but I do feel like I appreciate you guys validating me. It does hurt when I feel like I can't connect to people, and it does hurt when I feel like every time I'm around my friends, all it is me talking about myself and me talking about my hardships, my problems, my issues. I always internalize that I don't think that's fair on my friends. And it's not me doing this purposely. I'm not having thoughts in my head saying, I'm going to make this all about myself. I think it's just how desperate I feel right now. And because I've internalized that what I'm doing is bad, it makes it that much harder to feel like I can take up space, even around new people. And even when someone validates me or says, hey, I'm going to call you this, I'm going to call you that, we're going to go to the store together, we're going to look at this, I'm going to let you take up space with me, especially, my female and AFAB friends that allow me to take space up in female friendships, allow me to take up space with them, allow me to be there because I feel so forbidden. I appreciate it. I always feel like I'm not allowed to be there. I always feel like I need to earn it. I've always interned that I'm not someone that, I guess I feel people people, especially women, would want to be around. And I guess because of that, when I'm around people like that, it makes me feel like I need to make myself as safe enough to be around. So I don't creep anyone out or scare anyone off if I say anything weird or I do anything weird. Like, I'm not that I have any urges to do anything weird, but I'm always surveilling and hyper visualizing myself. And I think it's very hard because it makes it so I guess I don't ever feel like I can relax. Because I crave that space and that energy so much. So when I actually have it, again, I'm hyper visualizing, I'm hyper scanning, and I'm saying, hey, shoot, if I do anything wrong, they could reject me right now, they could leave. So I'm spending so much time trying to earn that space and feel like I'm allowed to be here. So I don't simply be with anyone. I guess the only people I feel I simply be with is my sister. I guess my therapist, because my therapist doesn't judge me, but even so, I'm still scared to say things to my therapist sometimes in case she finds it weird or finds it uncomfortable, inappropriate to talk about. But I feel like I'm always seeking permission from everyone. Even sometimes I feel like posting this is a seeking of permission, you know, showing how I really feel inside and saying, hey, it's out there now, so I don't have to pretend, or not specifically pretend, but act like I'm okay. And everything's fine. And I've got everything on my feet, you know. I know there's, my male friends, like my friends from my past, anyone from my past, really. And to those people, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being distant. But seriously, when I'm around certain people, even people that accept me, unless I see permission that I'm allowed to take up space the way I am now, I will act how I used to act around you. And that's just how I process things. There's people who I talk about meeting up with them, and I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I'm thinking about what if they accept me the way I am now. Then I can take up space. And this is someone I feel I can rely on and be comfortable around and feel like I can be comfortable with and take up space with. But if I see them and they don't like what I'm doing, or I feel like I have to be someone else, then it's not fun. And additionally, I spend the whole time hyper-visualizing myself. Am I being the way that they are comfortable around? Am I being the way that they need me to be? And I guess because of that, I never feel like I can take up space with anyone. I'm so scared of people, and I'm so scared of being judged, and I think I'm just scared of I don't know really what to say after that. To my friends that I become attached to when I see them, I don't part of me wants to say I'm sorry, but another part of me understands why I feel this way. If part of me feels sorry for myself and is saying I'm sorry because I'm sorry that when we're around each other, it seems as if I only talk about myself, and you're only supporting me when you're around me. It deeply hurts me thinking that when I'm around my friends, that's the vibe I give off. I think it deeply feels like I try so hard to make the time I spend with my friends pleasant. I visualize myself and I think, okay, I need to ask some questions too. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to make sure they're also having a good time, because if I just enjoy myself and I don't think about including them and making sure they're included, then it's not going to be good, and I could lose them, or they may not have a good time and they may not want to be around me anymore. So I guess what I feel really sorry for and I feel insecure about is that I could be coming across selfish. I'm sorry that I struggle to give, in a sense of, even to my family and friends. I'm sorry that it comes across like, when I do try to give to family and friends, it feels like I'm doing it because they give to me and I want to seem like a good person. So I don't really get to do it out of genuine feelings. I'm always trying to keep people around and earn people's space. I never feel like I can just take up space as myself. I never feel like I have any space in the world. Again, I don't want any of you to hear this and think I'm going to die. I don't want to die, because that would be very sad, and additionally, it just would be hard. Imagine if I died and I wouldn't, everything's ended. I don't want everything to end. But I'm deeply vulnerable and I'm scared, and I really don't feel like I have a place in the world. And it's hard because I'm always juggling myself and trying to be that place I feel people need me to be. And I'm not gonna act like me doing this video now, so I'm just checking my phone, is going to solve that or change any of that. But I guess feeling like my truth is out there and that I was honest about how I feel and where I am and how I really am as a person, I feel that gives clarity of, you know, I've put it out there now, I'm struggling. And I'm not just pretending I'm not. I'm not doing this video to look for advice. I'm not doing this video to be told, well, you need to get, like, I don't know, I don't explain it, but I'm not doing this video to be told certain things in terms of, like, you know, what to do, or like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think I just want to feel like my presence is there, and what I've said, or even just it's out there in the open. I'm not just hiding it anymore, you know. I will say one more thing, and that is I feel like one of the reasons why I became so much more confident in friendships this year is because I feel deeply unsafe in like romantic relationships, and I feel deeply unsafe seeking out the intimacy I crave and that I want. So I enjoy the fact that I can have even a little bit of that intimacy with my friends, and I have that sense of closeness with my friends. It means a lot to me. And again, sorry, I really appreciate my AFAB friends for that. Because, and my feminine friends too, because not even just AFAB, because they're trans guys I know, and I'm not gonna push them into femininity, that's not right. But my feminine leaning AFAB friends, I appreciate the space I get there, because it's a space I crave so much, and I feel like if I can even get a glimpse of that intimacy in my friendships, then I don't have to put myself in a space I feel uncomfortable in, where I feel like there's so much more roles for me to put myself into, and so much more space I need to take up, in a sense of I need to fill in space, and I need to be what I feel people need me to be. And I feel like I've always internalized that, not always, but over the years I've internalized that I'm someone that needs to be fixed, and I can't go out and seek the intimacy I want because I'm too broken for someone to take up. Or for example, my struggling to give and my struggling to give back, unless I feel like I want to, is going to just push people away. Because I always, even when I get those spaces to seek intimacy, I'm always forcing myself to reciprocate, because I don't want to push them away. I don't want them to reject me. I don't want them to feel like I'm not enough for them. So yeah. But it's scary thinking about putting this out, because I'm afraid of being judged, and I just don't want to be judged in this space. I feel like I want to be felt, and I want to feel understood. And I also just want to feel like more of my truth and more of who I really am is out there, instead of being a fragment of who I think I am. So yeah. My journey isn't so much like easy, and it's not as simple as it may look, you know. I guess I don't want to be mean to myself, but I'm not as sunny, shiny stars as people may think I am, and maybe I'm not the people that people may want me to be, and that hurts. And I'm not going to act like me putting this up and even being validated will change that, because I still need to learn in myself that I am. But I do think that putting this out there and putting my truth out there may help. So if you have watched this, thank you. And I'd like more space to be confident about myself more. I just never know what to talk about, and I'm always really scared. But I did want to put this out there, because I feel like putting it out there and saying, hey, this is out and I'm not hiding it, is a heavy weight lifted off. And if my friends do see it and watch it, then at least they'll know more about me and how I feel and what I struggle with, and that I'm sorry if I come across like I'm self-centered, or that I'm not giving enough space for you. And I'm not going to act like I'm going to stop trying to make sure the space that I provide is good. But that's just what's under the surface. But thank you again for watching, and I really appreciate it.